and welcome to Rocket Lab's All Systems Go mission. Thank you to the viewers joining us. I am Lobsterdam coming to you live from Auckland Mission Control Center as we monitor the Electron rocket as it's on the pad at this time. Thank you to the viewers joining us, as I said earlier, as we get ready to go to space once again with the new payload and with the Electron. Currently, we're watching the weather, looking good for our launch today. We'll be launching the BD-1 Mark II into low Earth orbit to snap pictures of the Earth. But once it's done with that, it'll be using a thruster, or more like an engine actually, to go to Mars and snap some more pictures, so it'll be a very good payload. So I want to keep this clear. Remember, we're not affiliated with the Real Life Rocket Lab. We are a company on Roblox expanding off of their idea. If we do not monetize our work in any way either. Should copyright holders request to take down all Rocket Lab assets, we will do so immediately. We will take down any assets or any videos regarding the group. So, we're gonna talk about the rocket, but let's talk about where we are on the clock right now. So currently, we are at T-minus 19 minutes, and all is go at this time. The mission control reports that all their stations right now are go, and the weather is go. So the launch weather officer is giving everyone a weather update every 3 minutes-ish, around there. So yeah. So coming up, the biggest, or one big event will be engine chilling at 15 minutes. So at 21, or 25 minutes, we have the ground systems activation. What that means is the strong back retract, clamp arm retract, etc. So some other panels. Now, let's talk about the Electron, the rocket taking us into orbit today. It's a very frequent and reliable access to space for small CubeSats. It's a revolutionary design with a max payload of 225 kilograms, a nominal payload with 150 kilograms, the height of 17 meters, a diameter of 1.2 meters, and with 2 stages, 9 Rutherford engines on the first stage to push it into orbit, and then that one vacuum to push it just to get an insertion burn. And if it's needed, we obviously also have Photon, our kick stage. So if we ever need Photon to come and help with a bit of a apogee increases, then we always have that. And we also have the second stage with the 22 kilonewtons pounds of thrust, or 5,000 pounds of thrust, 22 kilonewtons. The first stage is 34,500 pounds, but as it keeps throttling up, it'll be 192 kilonewtons, which is an ISP of 303 seconds. But we'll talk about the propulsion cycle next. Rutherford is an oxygen kerosene pump-fed engine specifically designed in-house for Electron, using an entirely new propulsion cycle. Its unique high-performance electric prop pumps reduce mass and replace hardware with software, which is very nice. And we also have custom cryogenic valves and helium pressurization systems, which were developed by Rocket Lab for ultimate efficiency and reliability. So before we talk about that carbon composite material, I want to talk about the next upcoming event at T-minus 15 minutes. That'll be our engine chilling. So basically what the engine chilling is we load up our fuel onto the rocket, which will be RP1, LOX, and liquid nitrogen. And we chill the liquid nitrogen so much that some of the vapor and condensation comes off the rocket. So that's why we have engine chilling take place. So T1. Okay, and it turns out we've just had um engine chilling start up. So that's we've been chilling the fuel for quite some time now, but the full call out from mission control has taken place, which means we're at the peak area of our engine chill moment. So that's when the condensation of liquid nitrogen, RP1 locks, etc., etc., the condensate will be falling off of the rocket. So at 10 minutes, we'll have the next major event, which will be our strong back and arm retract, which is the strong back is the little thing behind the rocket, that little tower behind the rocket, which is holding the rocket up, and then the arm holding the second stage. That's what the that is. So at this time, we're at T-minus 12 minutes and 55 seconds. Moving on about the Electron, we talked about the Rutherford engine, which had a new propulsion cycle. The first stage thrust of 34,500 pounds, and as it throttles up, 41,500 pounds of thrust. And then the second stage, which can put up to 5,000 pounds of thrust. So let's talk about the carbon composite I wanted to talk about. Electron makes use of advanced carbon composite materials for a strong and lightweight flight structure. Through an extensive research program in Rocket Lab's headquarters in the west coast of the U.S., we've developed a carbon composite tank that are available with liquid oxygen. That's compatible, sorry, with liquid oxygen, providing impressive weight savings, which also adds on to the fact that it's revolutionary. And if it's needed for the customers that are in need of a special apogee, the optional um, photon, which is the apogee kick stage, is available. Basically, what photon is it's basically an apogee kick stage that can execute multiple burns and place numerous payloads into different circularized orbits. It opens up significantly more orbital options, particularly for rideshare customers that have traditionally been limited to the primary payload's designated orbit. This is powered by Rocket Lab's 3D printed liquid propellant Curie engine, capable of 120 newtons of thrust and multiple burns. And we're standing by for the strong back clamp arm retract at T minus 10. We're at 11 minutes and 15 at this time, and all is looking good. So, so the strong back retract is in about 45 seconds from now. So all is looking good for that. Mission Control reports that they are ready for that. So we are standing by for that. Okay, and before we talk about the next part of the rocket, which are avionics, which will be the last section I'll cover, in about 5 seconds we'll have strong back retract, so stand by for the call for mission control in Auckland. Clamp arm has been opened successfully. And the strong back successfully has been retracted away from the rocket. The strong back is that little tower you see behind the rocket, which is holding it up while it's on the pad, but now that we're getting very close to launch, it's unneeded. So as you can see, a live view on the screen of the Mission Control Center in Auckland, and I'm just standing a couple of feet away from those guys in a back room. And here in Auckland, they'll be monitoring this launch by looking at all the statistics, including telemetry, meters per second, how fast the vehicle is going, the apogee, periapsis, apoapsis, all the technical terms of this launch will be monitored by these guys. So with props to them for doing all this hard work as it is needed as it's needed, because without them we wouldn't be anywhere today. So props to the Auckland Mission Control Center, as they are very, very essential to us. So props. And continuing on, let's talk about the avionics, which is basically our flight computer, which monitors all the high priority actions of this mission. So let's talk about that. Rocket Lab excels at producing high performance miniature avionics and flight computer systems. The computing nodes make use of state of the art architecture, allowing massive customization of function while retaining hardware commonality. And we also make use of state of the art FPGA architecture, if anyone is wondering. So that's all to talk about for the flight computer and the rocket. But as you can see, the big pointy thing at the top of the rocket, if you didn't know, is called a fairing, and that's quite special to us. So I want to talk about that. Electron's payload fairing is designed to decouple payload integration from the main assembly. The all-carbon composite payload fairing, which we just talked about, all-carbon composite, or the carbon composite, we just talked about that a couple of minutes ago. The all-carbon composite payload fairing is designed and manufactured in-house at Rocket Lab. And currently it's T-minus 7 minutes, and we are go for launch at this time. Mission Control reports that there you go. Coming up, and we're still getting weather reports every 2 or 3 minutes now. And we're just getting some quick weather reports from max Q, from liftoff to max Q, when we throttle up, getting all those weather reports. And we're also getting ready, if needed, to change the flight plan of vehicles if there were to be a rapid depressurization, something like that, or an anomaly on the vehicle. So if there was something like that and a plane was going over our launch pad, we would be able to change the flight plan of planes and divert them for safety purposes. And as I've said, the height of this vehicle is 17 meters, but the diameter of 1.2 meters. Currently, we're at T-minus 6 minutes and 5 seconds, and all is looking good at this time. And currently, we're standing by for the one major event, which will be the go no go poll. Oh, and actually, at T-minus 5 minutes, we'll be getting launch safety activation. Launch safety is a protocol here that most rocket companies follow. This is only because now that we've got the full engine chill or the full propellant load complete, there's obviously a risk of the vehicle blowing up on the pad, and we don't want that to happen. Obviously, here at Rocket Lab. So just for our safety, we are moving the ground teams to launch safety. So if there were to be something like that, they would be far away from the rocket so that if there was an anomaly of that matter, no one would get affected, which is what we want here. So launch safety is a very good protocol that we follow, and pretty much every rocket company. So yeah, and I want to make this clear. After the launch for today, 30 minutes after the launch, will be answering questions. A press conference will be commenced. I'll be talking about technical stuff, and I'll be answering everyone's questions. And our co-founder and founder will be saying some of their opening and closing and middle remarks. So if you're excited for that, let us know and come on down to the press conference 30 minutes after our launch. So currently the weather is go. We're commencing our go no go poll, one of our last ones for this launch. But I believe we'll have one quick one just with the essential stations of this launch. So launch safety, ground systems, weather is go. The strong rock and climb arm are to go. And we are standing by for the next major event. At T minus 10, we'll have, or T minus 10 seconds, sorry, we'll have our water dilution. The water dilution system helps suppress the sound of the vehicle so it's not too loud. And it also helps cool the pad down after launch. So currently it's 1 minute and 50 seconds away from the launch. We're getting very close today, and all the mission control reports that we are go at this time. So we heard that call from mission control saying that to finish their final checks on the vehicle, may consider it as go for launch. So we're hoping today's going to be a good one. The 5 seconds, all is go. Stand by for water dilute system activation. T minus 30 seconds. Vehicles on internal power. Stage 1 engines are pressing for flight. Standby, and the vehicle is standing by for ignition. 14, 13, 12. 10. Water deluge system has been activated. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff for Electron BD-1 Mark II on its way to Mars. Go Electron, go BD-1. Vehicle has cleared the tower and we're standing by for the downrange pitch of the vehicle. All 9 Rutherford engines are performing as expected, and we're go. And so everyone knows we will not be trying to recover this booster today. And we are in the throttle bucket at this time. Max Q has commenced on the Electron. This is the part where we will throttle down all 9 Rutherford engines just for the safety of the vehicle. And we are in the throttle bucket, as confirmed by Mission Control. We are not throttling down all 9 Rutherford engines for the safety of the vehicle as we're going through the maximum pressure of the vehicle. And Max Q. And the vehicle is still pitching downrange. The next major event will be throttle up, and we have throttle up. That's when we'll reach the peak thrust point, which will be 41,500 pounds, as I've said earlier. T plus 1 minute 22 seconds. All is go. And we have Miko at this time. Main engine cut off. We have depleted all the fuel on the first stage. Stand by for the ignition. Second stage fuel tank, and the ignition of the MVAC, or the Rutherford vacuum. And that Rutherford vacuum will be pushing it into its last area of orbit. That'll be getting its orbital insertion burn. And we will not be doing any sort of trans-Martian injection, only because the thruster on the payload is capable of taking it to Mars, so no need. So coming up next, our next big event will be the exposure of the payload. So that'll be our fairing separation, if you didn't know. That's when the payload will be exposed into space and it's safe enough for us to fairing sep. And fairing separation confirmed. As you can see, the payload is on the vehicle at this time, and it's all is good. Coming up next, the next major event, which will be our favorite one, deployment of the payload. But we'll be having a couple of burns take place, so we'll have it cut off, and then we'll have a couple of 3 to 5 second burns. And we can confirm that as we launched today, the vehicle will be, or the satellite will be arriving on Mars around the February area of 2021, so around February 18th to 19th. And we have second stage shutdown. Stand by for second stage ignition coming up in about 10 seconds. And we have orbital burn ignition, so this will be pushing it to get a little bit of a higher apoapsis. Since this vehicle, or the satellite, sorry, will be going to Mars, not need photon to help. And we have burn shutdown. So coming up will be the deployment. And we have payload separation. The second stage will now deorbit itself by pointing retrograde and burning with some fuel. What do you mean, like 10, 9, 8, or like liftoff and stuff? Oh, okay. Okay, ready. Okay, and as you can see live on your screen, you see the Mission Control Center. This is a replay of the vehicle when we were getting ready for launch. And we can't confirm the satellite is successfully into orbit and is now snapping pictures. I wanna, and one more thing before we tune off of this broadcast, I wanna make this clear. We had a very good launch today. We'll be talking more about this launch, for live, um, at the press conference in 30 minutes. So yes, but I want everyone to remember the most important thing for this, which is remember that we are not affiliated with the Real Life Rocket Lab. We do not monetize our work in any way either. If copyright holders do ask to take all this down, we will do so immediately, and we'll take down all the assets, videos, and regarding the group. So yeah, I that's that, and I think a couple of other people would like to talk on stream, some are officials, so I will be handing it over to them. Thank you for watching.
But on behalf of everyone at Rocket Lab, we welcome. Oh, I messed that up. Okay, never mind. On behalf of everyone at Rocket Lab, we did hope you did enjoy the launch. And as an employee here, it was great fun doing all these launches with everyone. And I do hope we're able to do it again. If you'd like to become a staff member here, please join our Discord. Thank you very much.
Hello guys, I am stream director. Thank you all for watching today's stream. We should have I'm not 100% sure if the live stream of the conference will be live streamed, but if it is, it will be available on Discord. So make sure you join Discord, it's in the description, group and all that. Thank you for watching today's stream guys. Thank you. Goodbye.